Sanjeev, welcome to today's episode of Journey to the Enlightened Soul. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much. I haven't seen you in quite some time. How have you been since the last time I saw you?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm very happy.
Good. Sanjeev, let's get straight down to business.
Yeah,
What is the root cause of human suffering
yeah.
and how can we overcome it?
The root cause of human suffering is attachment, clinging, craving, and what happens in day-to-day life. Like we are getting more connected with the desire, endless desire, and we are putting time and energy to satisfy all desire, which is impossible. When you satisfied one desire, another desire comes out. Therefore, we try to lose time, energy to satisfy all desire, and we are not able to know who we really are at the deepest level. Therefore, we suffer. The more we have clinging, the more we have craving, the more we suffer. Therefore, in order to overcome the suffering, we have to balance our life or we have to discover the middle path based on spiritualism and materialism. I never say that we should not make money or earn money. We should have beautiful life with the help of making lots of money because money is needed for our resources, for our utilities, and we have to fulfill some desire that is important. Like in this modern society, we should have house, we should have beautiful life, and for each and every step money is needed. But on the other hand, we should not forget about know about the deeper meaning of our life. The more we can know who we really are, the more we can attract abundance, prosperity. So we have to balance our life in terms of materialism and spiritualism, or we can discover the middle path. Then we can overcome the suffering. Yeah,
Oh, well, Sanjeev, if I understand you, because I'd like to latch on straight on to a very core word that you use, which is attachment. Now, the opposite of attachment is detachment.
yes,
Agreed?
yes,
Now, there's a concept called detachment,
yes,
detaching, actually, to
yes,
be in a state of detachment.
yes,
Now, as far as I'm concerned, from my own view, Sanjeev, detachment is the highest code of living.
yes,
As a matter of fact, the more we can detach from our so-called earthly possessions, the more our spirit can rise.
yes,
That is not to say that we should not aspire to acquire earthly possessions like good houses, good cars,
yeah,
good clothes.
yes. This is
But
the
we
basic
should ought to,
necessity. Yeah, this is the basic
but we
necessity.
ought to,
Yeah,
but we ought to be in a state of detachment from them.
yes,
And that's, to me, that is like being in this world, but out of this world at the same time.
exactly, exactly. That is the point. That's what I said. We have to detach. But we need to prioritize. Like as I said, we should have balance. We should have middle path. But we can detach. That is quite okay. But when we discover the middle path by developing the equanimity or the balance of our life, then we can enjoy and celebrate each and every moment of our life. Because when I am at the peace, when I'm at the loving forgiveness, kindness, with all kinds of resources, with all kind of utility, then I can explore and discover more, right? Because I have already kind of resources, all kinds of utilities, and then I can help others. But before that, I have to raise level my own consciousness. I have to evolve more and more. And for evolving each and everything, for every step, you need too much resources, too much, like utilities, too many opportunities. And then you can help yourself. And once you are getting help by yourself, then the other are getting help from you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So basically, your message here is very simple. our primary motivation must be to continue to ascend in consciousness. The
Yes.
more we ascend in consciousness, the more the facility of detachment comes to us. The more we are able to detach, the more our mind is able to be free to be able to accept the world for what it is. And
Yes.
the more we are able to accept the world for what it is, the easier it is for us to be able to cooperate with the inevitable.
Yes.
Because whether we like it or not, certain things must take their natural course in our life.
Yes. And
Again, one very interesting thing is this, just like you mentioned a few minutes ago, attachment itself is quite dangerous because our ego rules us so unequivocally.
yes.
Immediately we are able to satisfy a list of desires, a new list is pasted on our forehead.
Exactly. Because
So we
ego
are
is,
never satisfied anyway.
yeah, because the ego is holding you back. Ego is
That's
creating
right.
all kinds of attachment. And ego
That's
creates
right.
separation. Ego creates illusion. And that's what you said.
Yes.
And the ego live on the circumference. And ego is
That's
connected
right.
with the mind, attachment, clinging, craving. And ego is not going to help you, for
That's
detachment.
right.
Ego want you to be attached. Ego want you to
That's right.
satisfy all kinds of, false identification of mind. Ego try to bring
Absolutely.
endless desire, endless craving, and what
Endless
is
craving.
happening, we are trying to satisfy all desire, we are trying to satisfy all kinds of ego things, because, and
Yes.
then we are becoming more egocentric, and when we becoming more egocentric, then we are going to lose our true self, and the final purpose of life is to learn, grow, evolve, and to discover who we really are in the form of discovering our true self. But ego is creating all kinds of obstacles. Ego doesn't accept the movement whatsoever is happening into this movement. The more we accept this movement by transcending our ego, then we can be detached. But the ego is holding you back. Ego want you to be attached. Ego will create all kinds of barrier, challenges, and obstacle within. Ego will try to take you, okay, you have to do this, you have to go and buy too many houses. Ego tell you like you have to go and fulfill all kinds of the endless desire. So in order, as I said in the beginning, in order to satisfy all kinds of the desire, you are going to lose your true self, the higher self, the innermost being, so ego is creating all kinds of separation, all kinds of the barrier, all kinds of the challenges, and that's what it is. So the first thing, in order to transcend our pain and suffering, attachment, craving, we need to transcend our ego, and we need to transcend our mind, because we need to connect with our heart, and the mind is connected with all kinds of the endless and useless desire in the form of unwanted thoughts. And the mind and the ego is living on the circumference where there is too many attachment, too many cravings. So we need to transcend that wall in order to reach at the center of being, because at the center of being, you can find love, forgiveness, compassion, you can find oneness. And that's what, and when we balance our life, when we find the middle part in terms of spiritualism and the materialism, then then you can discover who you really are, and then you can explore more, you can discover more, and you can evolve more, and you can overcome suffering. I never say that you have to go and live in a jungle. No, you don't have to go and live in a jungle. You have to live in this physical world. You should have experienced all kind of the physical challenges and barrier, but we should not lose our true self, because the true self is only at the center of being, where there is a higher self is also there. So we need to connect, and we need to become one with them, and then we can overcome all kinds of the pain and suffering which is created by attachment, craving. Yeah.
In that case,
Yeah.
my summary of what you said in the past few moments is
Yeah.
simple. That humankind's greatest drawback is the ego.
Yes.
In that case, are you saying, do I comprehend you to be saying that the human being is composed of two parts, a higher self and a little self,
Yes.
and that the amount of ego that a human being possesses is necessarily responsible for the proportion of the higher self to the lower self?
Yes.
In that case then, Sanjeev, are you saying that the more we're able to suppress our ego, the more our higher self is able to ascend?
Yes. And then you can raise the higher level of the consciousness by dropping the lower level of the consciousness. Because at the lower
Splendid.
level of the consciousness, there is a anger, jealousy, fear, hatred, there are so many negative emotion are connected with the lower level of the emotion, and therefore the ego comes. Ego is creating all kinds of nuisance things. But the but when we try to reach at the higher level of the consciousness, like enlightenment, truth, courage, positivity, oneness, then we can transcend our ego. And in order to transcend our ego, then we can reach at the higher level of the consciousness, and then we can discover who we really are. Yeah.
Well, uh, there's a particular word that I've caught. You've mentioned it twice in the past 5 minutes, and that's the word courage.
Yes.
Are you proposing by any chance that one of the reasons why most people lack courage in their day-to-day living is because they have allowed their ego to predominate in their psyche?
Yes.
Are you saying, for instance, Sanjeev, that if perhaps people were able to ascend more and more to higher levels of consciousness, they'll be able to develop greater levels of courage? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Courage is very important part of our life. And the right meaning of courage is to live with the heart. And the courage is to live into unknown, insecurity zone, beyond, where anything can happen at any point of time. But when you are honest, when you are truthful, nothing wrong is going to be happen. Just think about the Columbus who discovered the America. Don't you think he would have gone into different places? How much courageous he would have been? Yes, he would have courage. Therefore, he overcome all kind of the mind transcending ego. And courage doesn't mean to climb on the mountain. Courage is to go within, to look within, to discover, to introspect yourself, who you really are. Courage is to quiet your mind, become relaxed, and then you can discover who you really are. Lots of the people have courage to go in the outside world, but that is not the right courage. The right courage is to discover your own potential. Right courage is to know who you really are. Right courage is to transcend your ego and discover oneness, and that's what it is.
In that case, Sanjeev, do I get you to be saying that when you discover your inner truth will set you free?
Yes, it can set.
Because you need courage to discover your inner truth.
Yes, exactly.
Actually, Sanjeev, in my personal experience, in my human interrelationships,
Yeah.
one common denominator that I've come across is the propensity of people finding it very difficult to be truthful with themselves.
Yes.
Most people do not seem to possess sufficient strength to be able to look deep within themselves and be able to discover who they truly are.
Yes. You are totally.
And this is where self-analysis comes in.
Yes.
I'd say, for instance, that self-analysis is very, very important in discovering who you truly are.
Yes.
Now, if you are unable to be able to ask yourself certain questions and to be able to go deep into the inner recesses of your mind to find out the kind of person you really are, what you truly stand for, what your true purpose are, the precise reason for which you were created,
Yes.
then you are not likely to be able to courageously say, this is who I truly am.
Yes. I'm totally agree with you. And I'm totally agree with you, because the right meaning of courage is to go inside to discover our inner truth, right? But the problems are happening. People are losing on the circumference. They, as I said before, people have so many expectations, so many desires, so many negativity on the superficial level. So they spend their whole time and energy on the superficial or on the circumference. But as soon as we started going inside with the help of courage, then we started dissolving the superficial layer of ego mind, and then we can know who we really are. But in order to know who we really are, we need to introspect, we need to dive down, we need to introspect, and not only that, we have to scrutinize ourselves. We need to understand, like who we really are, like why we are here, how can we align and synchronize with the frequency of the universe. So all these things will come into our life gradually, spontaneously, naturally, when we dissolve the physical body and mind, and when we are getting connected with the energy, and that can be aligned with the frequency of the universe. when we think at the level of energy, frequency, vibration. Yeah.